Benigno Simeon Aquino III.
Maraming salamat po. Maupo tayo lahat. Secretary Moni Menes, Undersecretary Evan Garcia, Ambassador Joey Quisha, Ambassador Leslie Gatan, Senators of Guam, Senator Frank Agon, and Senator Brandt McCready. Delegates of the 8th Ambassadors, Consuls Generals, and Tourism Directors Tour, Filipino-American young leaders, fellow workers of government, honored guests, mga minamahal ko pong kababayan, magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. While looking at your faces, I was wondering if you're all still being victimized by jet lag. I wonder if I look like you. We finished at about midnight last night going over the budget and some details about our ongoing negotiations on the annexes of the framework peace agreement with the Bangsamoro. So it took us quite a long while. And I have to admit, the energy level was a bit down this morning until I read the papers, which surprisingly had tremendous good news left and right. And that's kind of unique. I think I will preserve my copy of today's paper for posterity, just in case they never repeat it again. But I'm told that the reason that you might be a little tired is that you have been experiencing firsthand what it really means to be, or what it means to say when we talk about more fun in the Philippines. I hope you really had fun and that the energy was well spent. Recently, I have been busy finalizing the national budget, where we are laying out the priorities for next year and even beyond. Every line must be thoroughly scrutinized before the entire document is submitted to Congress. And so finalizing the budget, as you can imagine, is a somewhat stressful task. Undersecretary Evan Garcia, I think, is a little bit paler today. It was our second session of itemizing each and every line of the budget. You thus have my gratitude. Welcoming you all today offers me a fulfilling break from my other duties, and it gives me a special happiness as I am receiving balikbayans here in Malacañang, the home of every Filipino. As I understand, these past few days you have been to a number of tourist destinations in our country. I hear, for instance, that you were in Tagaytay, in which case I hope you enjoyed the brisk weather, the excellent buko pie, and the magnificent view of the Taal volcano. Through the sheer number of natural gifts in this country can take your breath away. Moreover, our fellowship, especially around the table, where Filipinos always make a point to share laughs and stories over adobo and lechon, cannot be found anywhere else. But I also hope that in the few days you have spent here, you have seen the can-do attitude and the renewed confidence that have revitalized the Philippines. We are once again an up-and-coming place, respected in the community of nations, where families are moving forward as we strive for inclusive growth. I would like you to consider how we turn things around. From a place of unfulfilled potential to a nation and people not just exceeding expectations, but creating even more potentialities for Filipinos and other people of goodwill. Remember when many who visited the Philippines always wondered, why isn't the Philippines a more prominent global tourist destination? And some of you may be too young, but perhaps some of your parents thought at one point or another, if only tourism could create even more jobs for our people, if only tourism could be a linchpin for our economy. From the beginning, we in this administration decided that not only could it be done, but that it could be done sooner rather than later. We identified tourism as a low-lying fruit that needed to be picked. From day one, we have worked to grow tourism in the Philippines to the industry that it could become. To begin with, we worked to liberalize aviation and to open ourselves up to new local and foreign airlines operating here, many of whom have already responded to our initiatives such as AirAsia and Jin Air. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, has also been working long nights to allow carriers to offer direct flights from the Philippines to Europe and to more destinations in the United States. Today, I am pleased to announce that they have made stunning progress. It began back in March with the International Civil Aviation Organization lifting the significant safety concerns that they had previously identified in our country. This led to the very good news we received just yesterday, that the Air Safety Committee of the European Commission has allowed our flag carrier, Philippine Airlines, to resume direct flights to Europe. CAAP has achieved one of its major goals, and I extend my full gratitude and congratulations to its head, General Hotchkiss, and all who worked to make this possible. Hopefully, this development will give them the extra energy they need to pursue all our other goals in the aviation sector. And of course, you have probably already heard of the highly successful tourism campaign led by our own Department of Tourism under the leadership of Secretary Mon Jimenez. In fact, after the tours you have gone on, you can probably attest that it is truly more fun in the Philippines. That is the secret of our campaign. We are not mouthing a marketing slogan. We are simply repeating a basic truth. The good news is you and the millions of other tourists who have passed through our country are not the only ones who have noticed. In their 2013 report, the World Economic Forum Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Index ranked us #1 in the world in terms of government spending on tourism as a percentage of GDP, which shows just how focused we are on our tourism sector. This also helped us jump 12 spots in their index, from 94th to 82nd. According to some publications, we are among the world's best diving and beach destinations. And Travel and Leisure magazine has even recently called Palawan, and I quote, the world's best island, close quote. All these factors have helped us boost the number of tourists visiting the country. In fact, last year, we breached the 4 million mark for the first time in our history, recording 4.3 million international tourists, a 9% increase from the 3.9 million international tourists of 2011. Not to mention, in 2011, we recorded 37.5 million domestic travelers, which surpassed our target for 2016. Might I repeat that we have already surpassed the 2016 target as early as 2011. Of course, we are always looking to improve on our performance, and so we have decided to put just a little bit more pressure on Secretary Jimenez. So from 35 million, the domestic tourism target for 2016 has been adjusted to 56.1 million travelers by 2016. And of course, 6.8 foreign tourists by next year. Just a slight increase in pressure. I'm glad to say that this is a challenge that he has graciously accepted. This unprecedented boom in tourism, together with our efforts to stamp out corruption in the bureaucracy and institute a government that actually works for the people, has vastly altered our economic landscape. The numbers might surprise you. The last time I welcomed visitors on this tour, I was already very happy to announce that our economy grew by 6.4% in the first quarter of 2012. Well, this year, I'm even happier to share our growth numbers with you. The Philippines' GDP ended up growing by 6.8% in 2012, and in the first quarter of 2013, we have recorded the fastest growth rate in East and Southeast Asia at 7.8%. Rest assured, however, that this success will only make our administration work harder. We know full well the challenges that remain. We must make certain that this growth becomes even more inclusive, that the economic benefits do not merely trickle down to our people, but that every Filipino is able to ride the rising tide of progress. If what we have achieved in the past 3 years tells us anything, it is that nothing is impossible to a united Filipino people. As I welcome and thank you today, I likewise invite you to join us to do whatever part you can in building a Philippines that truly lives up to its potentials, like being informal Philippine ambassadors by telling our friends back home just how much fun it is here. The spirit of bayanihan, the spirit of coming together to lift each other up, burns bright in every Filipino. And far though you may be, I know that it resides in you. Our country is in an upswing, and I invite you and every Filipino out there to help keep our momentum going, to help us bequeath to future generations a Philippines they can be truly proud of. Thank you. Good day. May you enjoy the rest of your stay here.